All right, well now we know actually a bit of good news, because this is a triumph, and it's some news that you don't often hear from the rainforest, because what you hear mostly is more logging, more strip mining, more farms being put down, less and less trees, less and less natural preserved land. But in this case, for at least part of the rainforest, the Yasuni National Park, this part in Ecuador has now been saved. It's called Block 43, and it used to be, well, at least until the end of this year, it is a kind of an oil pumping area. You know, they found a bunch of oil there, so they're trying to get it out. At first, when it was being developed, a lot of the local people were like, we have to protect this park. They got a lot of help, but they just weren't able to raise enough money to block the companies from coming in, which, why should they raise enough money? They should just be, anyways. So the companies came in, but after a lot of activism, after all this time, they were finally able to convince the government, the people, and now even the business that is freely pulling out without much fight, that it is time to shut down shop and restore that area back to its natural beauty. So yeah, triumph, because this is finally, at least, what was it called, 0.1% of the rainforest is what this is, but it's still it's not only a start, but it's also a precedent. It's a precedent for other nations nearby and other parts of Ecuador itself to be like, hey, maybe we don't really need all this land being used right now, or maybe we need to diversify into areas and protect the rainforest, because it really is important. I know that it's called the world's lungs. Yes. However, it doesn't make that much oxygen, apparently. The algae in the oceans make the most. But still, it's very important for ecological reasons. A lot of key species live there, including
capybaras.
Your favorite.
I'm in love with capybaras, yes.
Apparently all animals are in love with capybaras.
I'm not alone. Yeah. One of the friendliest species of animal on the planet.
And like, you see these pictures of them with alligators and stuff. Why don't they get eaten? Are they like poisonous, or?
I have no idea.
Or they're just like,
they're just so friendly. Even alligators are like, no, I can't eat you.
I can get a wildebeest later on. Or I don't think those are in the rainforest, but still.
Let's nuzzle.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Capybaras love to nuzzle everything.
Oh man, I want to be next to one so bad. And I think they would be fine too. It's one of those animals where like, oh, if you touch it, it's stressed. No, I think if you touch it, it's like, hey, what's up? Do you have any part of the Amazon rainforest you would like to visit?
I can't say I know all the parts and areas, but I have had a look at some places in Peru. There's like the Manu National Park, which is a pretty famous national park, and it looks gorgeous. They've kept it pretty undeveloped, this section, but there's a well done sort of eco-tourist establishment there, so you can go and visit it without feeling like you're part of the problem, you're part of the reason it's getting destroyed. They're making great efforts to be, gentle tourism that doesn't destroy the natural environment, but you can see a huge range of different amazing parrots, and jaguars live there, and jacunas and capybaras, obviously. Tons of birds and thousands of species of plants. So that sounds good to me.
That sounds like serene heaven.
Yes.
Vietnam was great, but the Amazon rainforest, that's a place to go. With bug spray.
Oh yes, definitely.
The mosquito just lands on you.
Mosquitoes love me in general, so I'm sure I would be covered.
Well, maybe Peruvian ones are a little bit less caring.
Maybe, yes.
They get enough blood from capybaras.
Hopefully well fed.
Does England have any natural places or resources to preserve?
They are making some efforts, to preserve different spots. Again, it's usually to do with certain species and plant life that are essential to the wider ecosystem, but tend to exist in certain areas. I remember the most famous example when I was young. I remember a certain motorway stopped being built in a certain place and was completely rediverted to protect a newt habitat.
Oh, good.
A certain rare type of newt that was really important. I should have checked exactly what area of Britain that was. But yeah, occasionally.
Just look at a road that does like this.
Yes, that has a really weird,
yeah,
there are various protected natural habitats.
I know the U.S. and Mexico were working together to restore a forest that was illegally cut down. That forest being the main stayover for monarch butterfly migration. The forest was cut down, killing off the majority of the monarch butterflies. So they're trying to restore it to get the population back up. But
I've seen this. I saw one of my favorite YouTubers was ended up talking about how he's planting milkweed everywhere because that's the habitat for the monarch butterfly, and they're suffering in the US.
Yeah, they do like their milkweed. It's disgusting, by the way. I've tried milkweed. It's nothing like milk. Yeah, it's very bitter and terrible. Probably poisonous. Maybe that's why I am who I am.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can also explain a lot to yourself by learning this vocabulary. So the next time you hear it in conversation, you'll know exactly what it means, and you might be able to use it yourself. Anyways, we will see you in the next section, and go preserve something today, even if it's just that sandwich that you left out from the night before. Bye.
Indigenous.
Indigenous.
Referendum.
Referendum.
Unequivocal.
Unequivocal.
Oversee.
Oversee.
Forego.
Forego.